the show that brings you information, guidance, and support to entrepreneur-minded individuals like yourself. TTalks.net will give you something to talk about tomorrow. This isn't the daily show, but this is the show where you'll get everything. You'll get a fiesta of a mix with the old and the new. They will give you tips and insights into everyday business, big wins in everyday life. They have a lot to add, from bookkeeping to sales, sales management, and sales training, and daily content for listeners to learn and enjoy. We are here to improve your life and business or sales career. Without any further ado, introducing the dynamic duo, Alex DeLuca and Rafael Rodriguez Jr.
Hey, Ralph, how you going today? Hey, how's it going today, man?
Well, good evening from Hollywood, Florida. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Good evening from Naples, Florida, man. We're hanging out. That sounded pretty good and nice. I like it, man.
Well, that's going to be my intro now from now on. So
that's it. That's the new Tea Talk intro for the next at least 30 to 60 days and beyond. Sounds good. You know, hit it right on the button. You know, there's always a ton of information to give out, but you know, we'll be here on a daily, no matter what, you know, we're doing grinding on a daily basis, but we're going to get on here and help out every night, 10 o'clock, and, you know, jump on for a half hour to an hour and have some fun with it.
Well, that's the whole idea. You know, hopefully we can help. If we help one individual, I'm just happy. I'll be happy like a pig on dirt.
That's it, man. That one person means a lot. It was easy to do it, you know, pre-COVID when we were interviewing on a daily basis. You know, we got to meet so many people and train, but things have changed. You know, we're still, you know, still started the interview again, trying to get back to the basics there and get the engines running. But it's a whole new world. We get to touch base online.
A whole new world.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna try that.
Sorry, I had to plug that in. No, definitely COVID-19 has changed the platform, and you know, one of the things that makes us the winners is that we just adjust. We are chameleons. We are the ones that drive the organization, and it starts from the top.
That's it.
You know, and I love what you wrote. Positivity breeds possibility. I mean, that's a huge.
There's a car commercials over here, and some guy's always saying huge at the end of it.
Well, I didn't see that commercial, but
it's on the West Coast. You know, you got too much
I am
time
on the East Coast for sure.
Gotcha. Are we streaming today, or are we recording, or what's going on?
No, we're not streaming. We're gonna go ahead and just
post this one and keep it up to date.
Yeah, we are gonna try streaming again tomorrow, and we'll go.
We'll get back on that horse. This is all learning.
If you want, it takes me 30 seconds to stream it to Facebook.
I was just gonna have my friend play a drinking game. I was gonna say how many times I say at the end of the day, because I guess that's my number one phrase at the end of the day. This is how it goes, and I say that often. So I was gonna say, hey, have a shot every time I said at the end of the day.
I think he might get drunk at the end of the day.
He'd be gone. Yeah, we can definitely worry about that. But as you're doing that, we're going to jump into today's topics, our T-Talk topics. You know, yesterday we talked about the Super Bowl marketing, direct marketing, who's your avatar, who you aiming for to promote to. So once you get the lead, and no matter what industry you're in, the first step as a salesperson, when you get to that house, it's the entry. What do you do? That's definitely one of the topics. We're also going to use the job interview mentality when we touch base on that, and forget all your prejudges at the door. I think we'll have an action-packed 30 minutes on that topic alone, and each one of those topics obviously could each be broken down into 30-minute talks at the same time.
And you know, the beauty of it is that I actually ran a sales call this afternoon, and I have to run one tomorrow. I have one of my salesperson out in the he's out in North Carolina, and I'm basically covering his shift, because as we all know, when you schedule something, you just don't reschedule it. To me, that's a sin. I don't know about you, but once you make a commitment to that homeowner, you know, you do whatever it takes to make sure that you do run that.
Yeah, you run it, but at the same time, you always get it done. You always communicate with the homeowner. I'm a firm believer of I work on my time. But that works around the homeowner's time at the same time. You always try, it's your money at the end of the day. So if you got to be somewhere, you got to be somewhere. You show up.
And I'm a firm believer of Lombardi time. Again, this is old school. If you're not there 15 minutes before, you're late. It all starts with the first impression.
Of course. No, yeah, definitely. But it's all the first impression, showing up on time. But what happens with the situation where, you try to, you have your secretary schedule appointments far enough apart, but the first one closes, going through finance, adds another hour onto the sale before you walk out of the door. Well, what do you just call the homeowner and let the next homeowner know you're running behind? But that's been happening to me a lot. I don't know if anybody else experiences that problem. Where
I'm a
you
firm
sign up your
believer.
morning.
I'm a firm believer of the 10 to 6. There's no
Yes.
reason. 10, 2, and 6, or 7, depending on.
That's enough time, travel time, sales time, read a book time, and then go run another appointment. Knock on the doors from, the appointment that you just hit. Jumping back on to topic, the entry. We as salespeople are extremely confident. With the possibility of positivity is the sky is the limit in my case, man. You've known me for a long time. And it took me probably 4 years before I met you to be a positive person. That was those direct TV days, busting my butt running a business and teaching me how to do it 7 days a week, right? So, that confidence was built over a long time. So, once you're a sales rep, you're walking into the house, you're a breath of fresh air for these people. You could be the best thing that they've seen since who knows, they're watching the TV and all the negativity out there. Us as salespeople are with our enthusiasm and charisma, it's a whole new world for them.
Well, and you're absolutely correct. We have to, especially in our line of work and what we sell is a high ticket item. It's as stressful as it is. And the best way to break the ice and let them kind of ease in and make them comfortable. And the way you make them comfortable, it's from the beginning. I mean, we have a touch contact. There's a process that we have in place, so the homeowner understands and knows what's going to happen every single step. And I think it's almost like the onboarding of employees. And there's nothing different between a customer and an employee. Do you know that?
Nothing at all. You're jumping ahead on my topics here because we're gonna go right into the job interview mentality. But let's definitely slow back, and slow down in the entry about how important it is that when you walk into that door, like you're literally like the breath of fresh air, the best thing that they could have talked to from, I don't know, the gym to the grocery store to the bank. Nobody was as positive as you when you walked into that house, and that right there, your sales made or break at that moment. The sooner you realize that, the better.
And absolutely, I think that's huge.
Huge, because you create the ether of the positivity in the room, but you got to be careful with that at the same time for the buyer's remorse when you leave the house. So we'll touch base at a couple episodes down the road with the wrap up of the conversation. But you create the ether in the house from the door, and you got to basically button it up before you get out of there. Back onto the whole what you were talking about, the job interview mentality, and you brought that up. But how there really is no difference from you going to get a job and you trying to sell anything to anybody.
No, I mean, for me, the employee is your customer. Your customer is a customer. Your different departments, they're customers. I preach the fact that the customer service department, everybody that's out in the field, they're customers, and it's a different approach. And if you do that, you will see a much cohesiveness between the departments, and it's almost like a team. What's the difference between an offense and a defense? I mean, they're a big difference, but they're still part of the team. They can't live one without the other.
That's the truth. So just imagine that for every one of your sales calls or moving forward, think of it as that job interview, right? Think that prospect's home is literally a job interview. Whenever you approach that prospect store, you're on your best behavior. You're talking politely, you're smiling, you're at attention, you're dressed well, you're shaved, and that's the same exact thing, the steps you take to go into the interview. That person's interview, keep in mind that you're not the only person looking for that job. They've interviewed other people, and keep that in mind at the same time. You're not the only one out there trying to get this job. And, it's important to look your best.
You got to be sharp. Definitely, you got to be sharp. There's no ifs, buts about. I just don't know how. I mean, I seen some other the competition out there, and I understand people are working, and sometimes you're the guy that you're the operation manager, the sales manager, the accounting department. But when you're in front of that customer, man, you just have to stop everything and really, go on the show, because that's what it is. It's a show. It's showtime, baby.
The curtain goes up.
It's showtime.
And the show goes on. The face changes completely. Like, I come home, I'm like this, and I don't like to talk. My wife's like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I've been acting. I've been putting on a show for the past 8 hours. Like, where have you been?" Well, no matter if I'm interviewing somebody, pitching somebody a $40,000 roof or a $70,000 roof, or knocking on doors to set appointments for a $10,000 roof, doesn't matter. The door is an opening, to Broadway, and your best. You as a salesperson, you open up and you rip off your shirt like Ralph's cover of his book there, the killer salesperson inside, and you're like, "I'm Superman." I'm within you. Sorry, like I'm a bad ass mamma jamma. That's it, and you attack it, and that's, going back to the whole job interview thing. Wanted to touch base. I'm trying to speak clearly, even though my nose is stuffy right now. But you must clearly translate your message. What you're selling. If you're selling yourself in an interview or you're selling a product, your prospects basically need to understand it in a way that is layman's terms, not in your jargon of your industry. Well, how many salespeople do you know that do that all the time?
I wish it's more than it should be more than what it is, unfortunately. Yeah.
Now, anything else you want to touch base in the entry there before we move on to the next topic?
No, let's just, we talked about how do you build confidence on a salesperson.
How do you build it?
Yeah, how do you build confidence?
You got to show them how to fish.
Okay, and what else should you do?
Got to make some money.
Okay, you show them how to make money. Definitely, that helps. But how do you give them the confidence for them to go out there?
It starts with they know exactly what they make for when they sell it. It starts with all the company and product knowledge that you've given them. It's basically their tools to success at the end of the day, and that's back on whoever's training them or whoever's the sales manager in the office.
Well, I'm going to give you the easier answer to that question.
Sweet.
It starts with you. You're selling a dream. You're selling a dream, and they have to believe. They have to believe in your dream, and they have to believe that you gave them all the tools that are necessary for them to go ahead and be successful. If you preach that enough and you talk about it enough, regardless if they're going with one or two, they're not going to be an encyclopedia. They're not going to know all the answers. But if they have enough that they feel confident enough to be confident, and that starts with you preaching that you're you are giving them the tools that are necessary for them to be successful. This is what they need, and that's all they need to be successful. And people behind them have done exactly the same thing, and they were successful. So if you set up the structure, and this is what you preach, then all is gonna. I mean, the only thing they have to do is basically follow the process for the confidence level to be built up.
And that's it. That all goes back to our earlier episodes when we talked to touch base on a couple parts of your book. Building your personal brand and really what you're about. And you've done all the studying and learning and research that you do in your related industry. Your product and the competitor inside and out. And those are other kill options and stuff we get into later on. But you hit that one right on the head there. It starts with you. You're the show. How many different contractors have we worked with, and I still get referrals. And sometimes I might not be in the same company I was with for various reasons, but I still get phone calls for referrals, and they want to work with me no matter what company you're with. So your personal
you sold
brand,
yourself, then you sold the company, but you sold yourself first.
First, every time. People buy you. They, especially when you're knocking on doors, or if you're in a retail environment where it's, you're a kiosk in a mall. Half the time they stop. You don't stop because of the product. You stop because somebody made you look at that product and test that product out. And that's the whole thing. It's the contact game. You get more contacts when you talk better, look better, and fake it till you make it.
I was and I know we don't have a lot of time to definitely kind of go over a lot of things, but the one thing I did want to talk about real quick is Give 'Em the Pickle by Bob Farrell. It talks about customer service and it actually back in the day it used to be something really big in customer service, and these have to do with the Farrell ice cream parlors that were literally in the 70s, and they're no longer around. But the bottom line, I'm going to try to summarize, is that whenever we sell, you don't sell for the money. The money is a byproduct of helping people. And a lot of times it's hard to explain to new salespeople that the minute you put a number on that customer, that's the minute that you might as well dig your grave, because you're doing it for the wrong reason. And I think that goes in line with the confidence, that if you go with the confidence to help, and even if you make a mistake, that mistake is going to be put aside because you're sincerely trying to help. And you're not necessarily looking at, and I don't know if you do this or not, but I hope you don't, but you don't look at, man, this is a $10,000 commission check instead of this is a $70,000 roof. Does that make sense?
No, yeah, of course. And of course I'm one to make sure margins there, and the big margins are bigger margins. Hooray. I find that out once the job's done, but never taking advantage of anybody by any means. But it all goes back to, I was in the financial industry, and Rod, he was very serious about helping people. Like, he literally had it when you walked in and walked out on each side of the doorway. Our goal is basically to help 27 people every day from 9 to 5. So every day we sat in our seats, our cubicles. Every cubicle was its own engine that you want to make sure every engine is running at full steam, and everybody, we had a goal every day. We saw it when we walked in, and we saw it when we went to break. We saw it when we came back from break, and it was, I'm here to help 27 people. And if you have that mindset of it, you're out there helping people get a good deal on cars, or get a good deal on what is City Mattress, or it was doing some commercials on the Super Bowl. That other bed looked pretty comfy. But if beds, stoves, windows, roofs, it doesn't matter. As long as you're helping them and finding a solution, and it feels mutual to help, that's all you could ask for. The money is 100% a byproduct. And
at the end of the day, it's what we're trying to accomplish is getting them a fair price. I'm never the cheapest guy in town because I want to make sure that we take care of our people. We got to take care of the individual. We got to take care, and if we take care of the people, the people are going to go ahead and take care of that customer.
100%.
Because, regardless, in the roofing industry, everybody pretty much has to go through the same process. There's
Well, the
nothing
home
different.
improvement industry in general has kind of been blacklisted. If you're a homeowner, more times than not, it's so unfortunate. And that's one reason why I'm in business for myself and I make joint ventures and I work for people that are reputable and don't, lack of a better word, screw over homeowners at the end of the day, but it's all about doing ethical business and finding out how to get that done. And if it's not getting done, you need to change it. Do business, we can sleep at night, right?
And that you can sleep like a baby, because
That's it.
the last thing you want is and it boils down to getting that big win today. So what about tomorrow?
Go get
Isn't
another
it
big
better
win.
to have small wins and they just keep coming?
That's it. Make a little bit here and there, and you'll be happy as long as it keeps coming in. And you start getting greedy. You want to make more off of one deal, cut somebody out. That's not always the best idea.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
But let's jump into the job interview mentality.
So we did talk about the job interview mentality. Back on topic, think of entering every prospect's home as you are basically on a job interview. You must be on your best behavior, must be polite, must make sure you understand, that other people, like I said, are doing the same job interview. We did go through most of that there. Anything else you wanted to add there on the interview process? It starts with the entry. Remember that the prospect, at the end of the day, if they made a decision, you wouldn't be there. And in the back of your mind, you're there to sell a demonstration, nothing more. Like, I don't care what your product is. You're there for the demonstration before the product. So that goes right into the next topic, which is prejudging.
Sorry, man, but I just see so many salespeople that they prejudge so badly.
Ouch.
It's just
Hurts.
it's so badly that it truly hurts. And the reason why is that you always make the assumption that the reason why they call you is because they're wanting to buy. Now, our jobs as salespeople is that we gotta. Some people do need a little push here and there to kind of guide
Of course. By all means.
to
I'm
make the
push all day.
decision, because it's a big decision, and a lot of times they don't know. We don't want to force them to make the decision, but we want them to make an intelligent decision, whatever they're buying.
As long as you enter the situation well, with your confidence and your likability and your trustability, and you're on cue like you're doing an interview, you could break that barrier down little by little. And it all starts with you. You've trained with me for years on that end now. What are my C factors, Ralph?
What is it? What?
The C factors.
The Z factor. Go ahead, bring
The
it on,
smile,
baby.
the eye contact, and the enthusiasm. And that's once the door opens, you see me smiling, I'm making eye contact, I'm enthusiastic the heck of what I'm selling. My voice fluctuations going on cue, and I'm smiling. It's contagious. The worst thing that could happen at the end of the day is that when they tell you to get the heck off their porch, or at least smiling when they do so, because the whole smiling thing is contagious. So, you only have one thing when you go up there, and that's your smile. Nothing else. You're not going up there with the AK-47 saying, "Hey, give me your money" or something. You're walking up there with a smile and a pen in your pocket. You are defenseless, by all means, once that door opens. And the worst thing that we could do as a salesperson, 100%, is prejudge the situation. Like that, as soon as you walk in, it might be a messy yard or a dusty car. Like, oh no, an ashtray. I don't like ashtrays, by the way, in the front yard. That's a bad sign. But
And I just want to make sure that we're clear is that we're basically talking about on a door knocking level. You're more of pre-setting appointments, kind of not necessarily as a salesperson for a demonstration going into somebody's home. And the reason why I like to clarify that is that, we do use a lot of lingo because we've been in different spectrum and different channels of selling. And when you're trying to do an appointment setting, your ultimate goal is really just to get a name and a phone number and hopefully a commitment for us to go back.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you're going in and you're a salesperson, you're having to be more observant of the surrounding and definitely putting the show. Hopefully, you are able to get in and into the house. A lot of times lately, it's been very difficult to jump in.
I
And
find the patio table now. Do you do that? Like if the house has
right
like
now,
a patio or
the
something?
one for today, everything we did on the patio, I had my
Yeah.
mask on, I had my gloves on, and he asked me, "Do you have a card?" I go, "Sir, due to COVID-19 restriction, I'm not able to pass anything to you.
That's how
But
crazy it
everything
is
is
over
going to
there.
be done electronically. Let me just go ahead and go into my phone. I'm going to send
Dude.
you my proposal. Here it is with the pictures and everything." And they're like,
Mhm.
"Wow, this is pretty interesting." And eh, I love the fact that they said "wow," and the reason why is that I wow them. And
There you go.
this is
The
about
wow
making
factor.
the
Wow.
making the impression of wow.
That's it, man.
That's what you're trying to get at the end of the day,
Every
is
time.
get that wow, because now you're much closer to being one of the top contenders for in that decision making. And the funny part is that I never compete in prices. I don't play that game. And I love, I'm giving out my secrets here, but the one thing I love doing is that, yeah, I can fluctuate your price by 10% easily. So what that does is that allows me to basically be within 10% of anybody else, because some people are price driven, some people are not, and I really don't sell price. I sell me.
No,
But at
yeah, and
least
that's
I
huge.
still have a hook, regardless of if they're price shopping or not.
No, yeah, it's awesome. If you don't have at least a 5 to 10% wiggle room in there, sometimes I've had 2 10% wiggle rooms in there to make the deal happen. But that's just me selling at high numbers and coming back down and you got to make it feel like it's an amazing deal. At the end of the day, your deal is amazing. The deal with you, you have a good company. And we were touching base on canvassing, knocking on doors, selling in home. But yeah, man, I think for the past, since I moved here, I've been fortunate enough to be 3 to 5 appointments a day. It's totally different in Naples to Miami. I don't wear gloves. I wear a mask. I sit down in garages and carports. I've been asked to go inside. Honestly, I don't want to go inside anybody's home right now. You know me, man. I was the one that loved the sales calls. I'd be in a homeowner's home at 10 p.m. right now, finishing finance and eating lasagna from the wife. Like that was life. It was fun. The whole in-home, we love people, the sales aspect of things was real good. So do me a favor. Next time before you go into your house, touching base on the prejudges, or next time you go into your next appointment, take out a pen and paper and write down all your prejudges. All the short people you don't like, tall people you don't like, fat people you don't like, skinny people you don't like, people of other origins, people that talk slow, people that talk fast, people that just look different. Just remember that when you walk into every door, every one of those prejudges go out the window. You smile, you keep going at the end of the day, and that's all we have. Like I said, is that smile. So many times, I found out with the prejudges and inclinations of, that they went with another product, and it hurts the most when I drive down that street again, because it's a neighborhood we always work in, and they went with somebody else and not me because of a prejudge. That's happened before, and that one stings. So, I approach everyone completely new and fresh-minded per se.
Well, definitely, and any good salesperson will always have at least a follow up, and try to get the reason why the person might have gone with somebody else. And that's your way of tweaking your presentation, or tweaking your flow. And everybody is different. I mean,
Oh yeah.
you're not going to be able to get 10 out of 10, but definitely, like any sports, you should be closing anywhere between 20 to 25%, 35 even better. But you should be measuring your wins, and the reason why is that's how you get better. If you think that you're good, you will never improve. If
That's
you're
it.
always thinking that I could always do better, which is the Six Sigma mentality, you will constantly get better at your
Always.
trade.
You need to study. I study more. I read more than I ever did in high school and college and school combined. It's pretty cool that we're doing this now because we're learning more on. We're getting back to basics in sales. And like you said, you took your butt out of the office and your managerial and accounting roles and went out there and did a sales call. It's fun, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to understand that you can't be a preacher and not do the things that you say you do, and get wins out of it, because
Big
then
wins.
you lose credibility. So I like to sharpen my skills every once in a while and just go out there in a
Awesome.
sales call and slam dunk it, baby.
That's it. We're speaking with the combined years, 50 years of experience, a lot of plus sides on the Rafael Rodriguez sides with the years. I throw in about 8 of those. But we're going to give you big wins, tips, insights on a daily basis. And this is coming from experience, and this is live, guys. I've interviewed today. I knocked on doors last week 3 times, and I've probably been on 20 sales calls in the past, 7 days. Jumping on roofs and having fun, measuring, talking to homeowners, meeting new people, networking over here in my new territory. It's phenomenal. I've done a ton of market research since I've been here, which you should do market research in your area. I can tell easily my demographic and age went up by at least 15 years. It's crazy. Like even today, I'm talking to a guy, really cool ex-Marine guy. I get off his roof, I can tell he had the flag flying. I'm like, how old are you? He said he's 68 years old. This guy's out there weed whacking the yard and edging the yard, and it's, it's only 80 degrees. It's not hot out, but it just, goes to tell the market that I'm approaching is different than Broward. Goes back to our Super Bowl commercials yesterday. Each one of those commercials were directed to a specific down to the number market, right?
Well, we talked about the avatar. You need to know what the avatar of your target audience is, and that way you can speak to that avatar on its term, because we talked about selling is like dancing. If you're trying to sell somebody who's dancing merengue and you're dancing waltz, it's going to look a little funky.
Yeah. And I always thought Walmart was kind of backwards, in Florida at least, when it starts getting, to the end of the year in December, they break out all the winter clothes. I'm like, it doesn't get cold until you're marketing to the wrong people. Bring back the swimsuits, man. But anything else we want to touch base? We had a good show. I want to keep it on that 30-minute mark and really try to give as much information as we can. Please watch, subscribe. We're going to post a Super Bowl commercial video today as well. Like, subscribe, watch, share, give us input, please. We're not going anywhere.
And don't forget that sharing is caring. Please leave some comments that will give us some feedback. If you don't like the color of my hair, that's okay. You can put it there. This show is for you guys out there, and hopefully, like I said from the beginning of the show, is that if we're able to make one person, I'm extremely happy.
That's it. One person, day by day. Well, that's it. That's a wrap, guys. Again, today is February 9th. It's now 10:43 here in the Eastern time zone. My name is Alex DeLuca over here in Naples. Thanks so much for tuning in.
And this is Rafael from Hollywood. And I say good night to everybody.
And we'll talk to you later.
Dios.